He can only do what he can do, and he says the pressure is what everybody else puts on him.
Well, here he is again on cue. Jesse Lumsden bats away a few tacklers. Number 28 is a different runner than his dad was as well. This was before the game. First introduction as an Eskimo.
Certainly one of the loudest cheers of those introductions.
One thing about Jesse Lumsden, he shows some emotion out there. If he takes it to the house, gets in the end zone, you know you're going to have a celebration of some kind. Ricky Ray out of the pocket again, and once again, it's Lumsden. Close to a first down.
And I like this part of Jesse Lumsden's game, and frankly of the Eskimos play calling. There is some fear that Edmonton would kind of label their two backs. Jesse Lumsden as the runner, Kelvin McCarty as the receiver, and that's just been based on their stats. Well, so far here, McCarty's got a carry. He's been involved in the run game. Lumsden with a couple of catches, being involved out of the backfield. So they're not going to be predictable. They're going to use these guys. They're going to mix it up. But that's an aspect of Jesse Lumsden's game that was certainly overlooked. He was productive out of the backfield in Hamilton. Here you'll see Ricky Ray forced to step up, flushed out of the pocket. Used his backs very well, as we saw last year to McCarty, using them well as outlet valves when he's under pressure. Kelvin McCarty had 70 catches last season out of the Eskimo backfield, tops among CFL running backs.
Saw Barron Simpson in on the tackle, wearing number 5 this year. Play action now, again to the far side. Once again, Andrew Nowacki now with his 3rd catch of the night. Jesse Lumsden put up some impressive numbers in Hamilton. Could you have imagined if he was able to play a full season for them at any point?
Well, particularly when you look at the last 2 years, in his last 19 regular season games with Hamilton, which occurred over the last 2 seasons, Jesse Lumsden accumulated over 1,300 yards and averaged over 7 yards a carry, almost 7.2 yards a carry. If he can even approach that here in Edmonton, they'll be ecstatic.
In the pocket again, in and out of the hands of Fred Stamps. So Ray will leave the field. Noel Prefontaine will come out, and the Eskimos will boot this away. Had a chance to chat with Noel Prefontaine before the game and talked a little bit about his new head coach, Richie Hall, and he said, hey, he's your typical player's coach.
As people who know Richie Hall from his years around the CFL, very quiet man by nature, but he's the kind of guy, as Prefontaine said, the guys want to win for him, the kind of coach that people want to play for.
Nowhere to go for R.J. Franklin. Still zeros on the board. 6:49 to go in the first. Stephon LaFours. Haven't been a lot of southpaw starting quarterbacks in CFL history. We've had some success. LaFours wants to change that. Robbie Bryant again. People might say, hey, right-handed, left-handed, it doesn't make a difference, but it does make a difference on that offensive line.
Well, it makes a difference on the offensive line, first of all. People talk usually about the left tackle position being so critical to protecting the blind side. Well, now it becomes the role of Glenn January, the right tackle, to take care of Stephon LaFours. It changes the way you call plays, because you're going to try to roll more often to the left rather than right. And even in terms of the run game, it's going to be more comfortable going one way than the other.
Brad Reed not comfortable there, loses his lid. Dario Romero met him head on, and a 2 and out for the Blue Bombers.
Dario Romero, always a force on that Edmonton defensive line. See a move to his right just before the snap. He ends up outflanking his blockers. That allows him to get some penetration into the backfield, untouched on the play to make that tackle.
Newcomer Fred Peach in on the play. Kai Ellis, former Bomber there. Tristan Jackson is back. Renault with the kick. Jackson, he's dangerous. this time. Brought down by Fred Reed.
Always sets a tone when the starters are hustling on special teams.
Still no score yet. The season opener. Last we saw, Ricky Ray tried to lead his team to the Grey Cup against the Montreal Alouettes. Has a few weapons this year, but again, no Kelly Campbell this year. And you know how important he was to the offense a year ago.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who emerges as that vertical stretch guy, the speed guy who threatens opposing teams deep. Campbell was fantastic for them in that role last year.
And out of the backfield.
Got a little rotation going in the backfield. Fullback Chris Chinsky getting a little bit of time.
And the weather could change. Well, guess what? That clear forecast? It's raining now. And it's teeming now. 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
A lot of the fans are heading for cover here.
40-46.
Prefontaine at his 27. Wobbler. Once again, R.J. Franklin handling the return duties. Stefan LaForce has returned to Edmonton, back at the helm when we come back. I don't think a lot of people brought their umbrella here tonight. Tomorrow night, BC Lions, Saskatchewan Roughriders in Mosaic Stadium, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Wendy's Friday Night Football. I think there's a little emotion in that game for one Jason Claremont.
I know Claremont's been trying to downplay it all week, but after spending the last 7 years with the BC Lions,
Boy, some thunder and some lightning in the sky here. And a wet ball. That's all you need here. Making your first start in quite some time, Stefan LaForce. Once again, let's check the defense for the Edmonton Eskimos. Couple of former Bombers in there.
of course, Kai Ellis playing that end spot. You're also going to see Kinwana Jones, one of the former Rough Riders, came over with Richie Hall. Big free agent off-season signing. Maurice Lloyd at middle linebacker to anchor the D. And strength up the middle continues. Coming from Saskatchewan as well, free agent safety, Scott Gordon.
LaForce in some trouble now. Kai Ellis couldn't get him. LaForce still on his feet. Finally brought down and hit hard. And that's what Stefan LaForce can do. And that was the option he did when he was with Ricky Ray here. He was able to use those feet.
Yeah, no doubt Mike Kelly wants to incorporate that by design in this Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense. Stefan LaForce, just a scrappy type. We saw this at the end of the 2007 season when he made 5 starts in place of an injured Ricky Ray. This kid's a gamer.
42-58, 42-58.
Renault, a line drop.